By the mid-20th century, Wilbraham had grown greatly in population, so much that its people called for a new public school.
It was a time that Wilbraham was growing, population was increasing, homes were being built, and therefore new schools were also being built. The students that would graduate from the junior high would then head into the Springfield schools until our new Minnechaug was built.
So one day in 1959, a gentleman arrived at Commerce High School, where I was in Springfield, and said, "I'm from the new Minnechaug Regional High School. We want to know what courses you're going to take next year. You're going to be a junior there." And then, so we all went back to Minnechaug when they opened in 1959. We didn't have a senior class that year. They kept the seniors in Springfield. So we were the top dogs for 2 years, juniors and seniors.
Well, I think that was probably one of the most exciting happenings in town, to have a regional high school. So what it did is it brought two towns together, Hampton and Wilbraham, and the students that would attend the school from both communities. And being a brand new school was very exciting, a high school. And really, as freshmen, we had nothing to compare it to. So this was going to be our high school. And that was just exciting times. There was so much that when we reflect back to those beginning years, that really afforded us opportunities of a lot of creativity. It was something that was really handed to us, but we never realized the full impact of the longevity and the continuation of all those important aspects of high school life.
And then we graduated in 1961. And we were in the first class to graduate.
50 years later, time proved too much for the school. By 2010, construction began for New Minnechaug.
You have a feeling of, real sentiment regarding the building, because you knew it when it was a beautiful brand new school. Actually looking at towns nearby, schools that were built during that time, obviously construction was different, and it's the way to go, is to rebuild.
I watched it fall apart, and it upset me.
Well, it's sad. It's sad because there's so many memories there.
Yeah, but to me, Minnechaug is still new from 1961. My locker was still there. I don't know, probably torn down now. I'm sad in one way and excited about the new school in another way. So.
Minnechaug has just been a wonderful school for many students over many years, and it's good that the school continues to be not only a wonderful school for the students, but that it's a central place for activities for the community.
1963 was a time for celebration in Wilbraham. The community joined together in celebration for the town's 200th anniversary.
In 1963, there was a buzz. The buzz was out there. There was going to be this grand celebration, the 200th year. I had no idea that the whole town would be, so involved in such a grand event. I think that because there's so many wonderful things going on in your senior year, one thing after another, but this was, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a huge moment in history. They announced the Queen, and I was crowned, and it was a very exciting moment. But I was fully aware, and once I became involved as the Vice-Regent Queen, of all of the committee work and people that had made that whole celebration a possibility.
You have to come to the bicentennial ball with us. So we went to that. They had turned the Minnechaug gym into a nightclub, and they had a big band there, and everybody was there, all the selectmen, and you couldn't drink in there, so they all tailgated outside. So there was bars set up all along the Minnetonka parking lot. Everybody from the selectmen to the assessors, they would go out to the car, have a few cocktails, and go back in and dance.
And I remember the parade, that was a huge event. People came from all around the town, other towns came, as well as the Wilbraham folks. And we were actually looking to buy a house. I remembered Wilbraham from that time, and thought, this is a town I'd like to live in. This is a town that honors its history, and people are involved and willing to be part of things. I thought that was great.
And I'm always amazed at the amount of dedication and commitment of our residents. And, it was just a tremendous undertaking by the citizens of this town, residents, to celebrate that 200th year.
For over 200 years, long before it developed into what it is today, Wilbraham was an agricultural community composed of various family farms. Some examples are Rice's Fruit Farm, Oaks Farm, and Bennett Turkey Farm.
Well, my grandfather and my father started it back in 1916, and they grew to have like one of the biggest turkey houses in New England, a quarter of a mile long. At one time they were raising about 10,000 chickens and about 20,000 turkeys. They had a thriving business there. It was this vacant piece of land, and when he built his house, he struck the foundation of the first house in Wilbraham. It had burned down long before that.
In the stone walls, yeah, that's how people divided their property off. Boy, I wish they could talk. They could really tell you. I mean, you put all these stone walls up. They're still there, hundreds of years old.
A lot of things were the same, but a lot of things were different. At the time, that many years ago, it was very sparsely developed. It's been over the past maybe 30 years that housing on the mountain has really developed.
By the late 20th century, as America experienced rapid growth, so did Wilbraham.
Wilbraham has changed really in terms of its growth. We see more homes, we see more schools, we have seen new schools, we've seen new town hall. I think we've seen a business component that has definitely expanded on Boston Road.
I would say it's gone from farming town to suburban bedroom town for Springfield, where people commute into the city. The suburban retail is really what developed it along Boston Road. You could drive through Boston, but it was the automobile that really did that. People became more mobile.
Wilbraham reflected as much of the country did over times, economic growth that led to people having jobs that would enable them to buy big houses.
Times change. There just aren't any farmers anymore around here, hardly.